What's up? Good morning. How you doing this morning? How's everybody? Y'all all right this morning? I hope you're doing well on this fine Wednesday morning. What's up, Antoinette, Miss Yolanda, Brother Winford, Tanangela, Brother Mike, Miss Crystal, hey Miss Tammy on Instagram. What's up, Nikki, Denise, Caitlin, what's happening? Michael, Miss Gilda, Miss Mary, Munchie, what's up? What's up, Brandy? How you doing? Pastor Charlie? Kev, what's up? Brother Jimmy? Miss Joyce? Whitney? Kim, how y'all doing, Amy? How's everybody? Welcome to Jumpstart Live, man. I hope this morning finds you well. I hope that it's hump day, somebody. Somebody say it's hump day. It is hump day. Couple more days until the weekend. Hit that share button if you hadn't done so already. I sure appreciate you. I really, really do. Thank you to all of you who already have done so. And yeah, we've been in a series called You Asked For It. I love this series. And I've been answering your questions, man. And I've been lately dealing with forgiveness. Um, because you asked for it. And because it's such a huge deal for most of us, for all of us, let me say, not for most of us, but for all of us. Uh, all of us tend to, at some point, struggle in this area. And so, welcome to those of you who are joining us at our church's page. Uh, Appreciate you being here. All of us tend to struggle in this area of forgiveness, forgiving other people. We tend to struggle with releasing what other people do to us. And yet it's so important, man. And so we've been camping out here for a few days. Yes, I had an amazing, amazing birthday on yesterday. Thank y'all so much. So much love shown, man. Um, it was just crazy. I couldn't get back to everybody who said happy birthday. It's just way too many people. But please know that I am grateful. And I do thank God for each and every one of you. The gifts you sent. Thank you so much for the kind words and all of that good stuff. Y'all make a brother feel like he's really cared for. And I tell you all the time, those of you who are members of community church, if you're lying about how you care for me, I love the way you lie. And so, thank y'all so much, man. I appreciate you. All the love you showed yesterday, man, and the love that you show all the time. Listen, I need your help with something. I am about 154 people away from being able to stay live on Instagram. I need about 154 followers. They keep giving me this message saying that they're going to not allow me to go live. So would y'all do me a favor, those of you who have Gram accounts, would you go follow me at any third, I believe it is. I'm pretty sure it's any third. It might be a third young. But uh, I don't, follow me on Instagram, please. And I appreciate all the support. Hit that share button if you hadn't done so already. Thanks to those who have. Those of you who are on YouTube, give us that thumbs up, man. Just let the folks know that we are here. And so we've been talking about this. Um we've been talking about forgiving, and yesterday I really dug down into why the first thing you should do when you're offended, when someone hurts you, when uh, you face with a situation like that, is you should seek God. That's the first thing you ought to do. Seek God. And I told you that the deeper the hurt, the more you need to seek Him. Like the more you need to lean into Him. Because number one, God never wastes the hurt. But number two, a lot of times the reason why God allows what He is allowing is because to draw our attention back to Him. And then the more hurt you are, the more uh, disappointed you are, the bigger the offense, the more you need to lean in, because the more you need to hear from Him, the more you need to hear His voice, the more you need His wisdom. Most of the time, when you face with a situation like that, you don't know what to do. And so you need direction. Uh, I also told you, kind of tough, but thank you so much. Thank you. It's ANY3RD. That's the Instagram link. That's the Instagram handle. ANY3RD. Thank y'all. Um, but the other thing is, I kind of leaned in pretty hard and told you that, listen, sometimes the reason why we get hurt is because we avoid the truth. And when I say we avoid the truth, it's Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the light. And so many times the reason why we open ourselves up to these kind of situations is because we're avoiding Him and the truth that He tells us. We neglect our time with Him. We substitute Him. Watch this. And we do this even when we're hurt, right? We substitute seeking His presence with seeking Him through other people. And don't get me wrong, I told you get counsel, but don't make the mistake of thinking that other people can substitute the voice of God in your life. I'm going to say it again. Don't make the mistake of thinking that other people's voices can substitute the voice of God in your life. And many times while we're avoiding the truth, Jesus said, I am the truth. And we're avoiding the truth. In other words, we're avoiding Him, and we're avoiding the truth that we're afraid He's going to tell us. Come on. Yes, we have to get counsel. Yes, the Bible says in the multitude of counsel there's safety. Yes, the Bible tells us to get counsel from other godly people. And listen, yes, therapy, we should normalize it. We need it. But don't make this mistake of thinking that being in the presence of other people will substitute being in the presence of God. And a lot of times the reason why we avoid being in the presence of God is because we don't want to face the truth, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and we don't want to face the truth about ourselves, the truth that He's going to tell. And so we got to make sure that we get in the presence of the Lord and lean in. And here's the thing: when you go into God's presence, go looking for what He wants to tell you, not what He wants to tell the person who offended you. That's really important. Go open to not how he wants you to handle them, but how he wants you to handle you. I'll say it again. Go looking for not how he wants you to handle them, but how he wants you to handle you. And a lot of times we say we're in the presence of God and God's not saying anything, but he is. And but what he's saying we're ignoring because we're looking for him to tell us how to handle them. And God is telling us how to handle us. See, the deal is God's gonna deal with them. He's gonna do what he's got to do with them. He's gonna convict them if they're saved, and he's gonna have mercy where he wants to have mercy, and we don't really have a say in that. And I think that's part of the thing that makes us not want to forgive. I've heard people literally say, "Gotta forgive you, I won't," and get your forgiveness from God. And I think many times we don't like the idea that God would show his grace to the person who's offended us so bad. And that's the reason why we seek justice. That's the reason why we seek vengeance for ourselves. But what we have to do is and the whole deal about that is when we look for vengeance for ourselves, what we end up doing is putting ourselves in the prison of unforgiveness. And so when we go to God, we got to make sure that we go to God looking for what God wants to say to us, what God wants to do in us, what he wants to do through us, right? Not looking for what he wants us to do with them. Lord, how do you want me to move? What do you want me to see? What are you trying to teach me in this? What do I need to correct? And sometimes the very thing that we need to correct is the fact that we lean in to too many other things outside of the presence of the Lord himself. We find our security. We find our significance. We find our value. See, sometimes the reason why it hurts so bad is because we drew too much value from our position in the lives of other people, when our value should come, or what we believed our position was in the lives of other people. When the truth is, our value should come from our position in the heart of God, because that's the only thing that does not change. Our value should come. See, when our value comes from our position in the heart of God, right? Then we keep God in the right position in our hearts. But when we start to draw our significance, our value, come on, somebody, our worth from who we are in the lives of other people, because sometimes that changes, we end up devastated. And I'm not saying that we should not value our relationships, but you should never value uh, a mere mortal, a human. You should never value anything more than you value. You should never find your value in anything more than you find your value in the unchanging God that we serve. Come on. That's why you have to keep him in his right position. You have to. You have to make sure that he's on the throne and that nothing and no one else gets to take his place. Or y'all picking up what I'm putting down. And so we put other things, and sometimes when we go to God will point that out to us. He'll say, "Put me back in my rightful place. Draw your value from me. Draw Realize your worth in my eyes." Hmm. See, the problem is you're looking for in them what you can only get from me. You want them to see you like I see you. I don't love you because of anything about you. I love you because God says of who I am. Whew. And there's no mess up, there's no hang up. Come on, somebody. There's no character flaw. There's nothing about you that could cause me to love you less, because nothing about you caused me to love you in the first place. That's why finding your security in me is so safe. Finding your security in the Lord is so peaceful. Learning to rest in him, finding your worth in him is so stable, because nothing can change his love for you, because nothing you do can change his love for you, because nothing about you caused him to love you in the first place. Are y'all with me this morning? And so you have to make sure that you run to the Lord, man. You lean into him. And listen, when you go to him, here's the deal. You ready for this? All right. So there was a season in my life where I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna be transparent. There was this season in my life where before I got married, uh, I was sold out to the Lord. I was dating, and I really, really wanted a wife. Um, I really, really wanted to be married. And so I'm like many people who are single, I'm looking for my spouse. And I'm on this search, um and I'm stopping short of saying this because I don't want to. I'll just say it. I got my heart broke, because at this point, this is the first time in my life where I had made up in my mind that I would never get married until, and I told the Lord I would never get married until I knew that I could be faithful to one woman. And so, like, this is the first season in my life where I'm faithful to one woman. Can I be that honest with y'all? Um, I'd never done it, but I didn't want to go into a marriage like that, especially after I surrendered my life to the Lord. And so, like, this is the season where, like, I'm giving this a try because I want to be married. And I end up getting my heart broke because here I am new to this and really trying and really, like, you know, doing this new thing, and I got played, and so like I'm heartbroken, and I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? And I just remember it being so confusing. I remember it being so heartbreaking. I remember it being so like it turns your world dark and you don't know what to do. And, you know, you could do a whole lot of things, but you know they're not the right thing to do and that sort of thing. But everything in you is screaming at you, like, do it, the wrong things. And then I remember the Lord saying, you need to draw near to me. And I was having a prayer time every morning. I was reading the word. I stayed in the word at this point because I'm on fire for the Lord. And I'm like, Lord, what do you mean draw near to you? What do you mean? I'm near you. Like I'm near you. That's why I don't understand what's happening right now. And I was like, no, y- you need to draw near to me. You need to get rid of anything in your life that stands between you and me. That you give more value than you do me. And I couldn't point to anything off the top of my head. I'm like, I just wasn't getting it. And then I was impressed to go up on a fast. And in this fast, I was impressed to seek out anything in my life that was not pleasing to him because I felt like I wasn't hearing clearly from him. I felt like I didn't know when he was speaking and when he wasn't speaking. I felt like I didn't know if it was him or if it was me. And so I went on this fast. I called a personal fast. I didn't tell anybody, I didn't say nothing. I just went on a fast. And I got real intentional about eliminating any distractions. I got real intentional about eliminating any sin. I got real intentional about eliminating anything that would keep me from hearing clearly from him. And I just sought after the Lord. I went all in after him. And I took this season in my life to just go all in after him. And while I was fasting, I never forget that for the first time in my life ever, that's when I learned to distinguish without any doubt when God was speaking to me. That's when I learned to hear without any doubt when God was talking to me. That's when I learned to know his voice. When I leaned into him and got rid of everything. Watch this, you ready for this? My point is that for some of us, for most of us, for many of us, when we go through something like this, when we deal with something like this, what God is trying to do, what he wants to do in the middle of it, while we're in it, is allow us to get to know him. And I feel like many times we pass up opportunities to get to know God because we settle for supplements. Whew. We pass up opportunities to know what it's like for God to get down and hurt with us, for God to get down in difficulty with us, for God to get down in devastation with us, because we settle for supplements. Y'all with me? And it was in the middle of what I was dealing with and what I was going through when when I put my focus back on him, and when I went all out and got rid of anything in my life that was not pleasing to him, got rid of anything in my life that was a distraction of my attention away from him, that I really experienced the Lord and learned what his voice feels like and what his voice sounds like. Without, because I had heard from the Lord, but there was always this, was that God? Was that not? Is he speaking? Is he not? Is it him or is it something else? There was always that whole deal. But right in the middle of my pain, right in the middle of my heartbreak, when I sought him and just determined in my mind that anything that I think is getting in the way, whether it's a sin or not, anything that I think is getting in the way of me and him, I'm getting rid of it. And I went on this fast and I did exactly that. Television? Nope. I'm studying the word. We didn't have social media back then. Went without food for the amount of time that the Lord told me to go without food. I mean, I fasted. I don't even remember how long I fasted, but I did. And let me tell you something. That was the most devastating. Well, let me not say the most devastating. That was at that point one of the most devastating, heartbreaking times in my life. But I also got to tell you this, man. It was one of the times in my life, as I look back, where I never felt God's presence more. I never heard his voice more clearly. Imagine what it's like hearing the voice of the Lord in your heart and in your mind for the first time, and you don't have a doubt that it's him. Whew. And it happens right in the middle of a heartbreaking situation. And nothing about the situation changed. There's no story where, we reconciled and everything got back together. No, because what the Lord showed me, can I tell you what the Lord showed me while I was fasting? The Lord, because at the time, and I was just telling somebody this yesterday, man, a preacher stopped me at the gas station. He was like, I know you, you're Pastor Nate, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And he's like, yeah, man. He started telling me his story about how, he had his picture of what his wife was going to look like. And in his mind, she had to be this because he was a preacher, and she had to be that because he knew where God was going to take him. And I was like, yeah, man, I almost made that same mistake too. It's like, for real? I was like, yeah, for real. Because the way I ended up with this person is because I had my picture of what my wife needed to be and what my wife had to be because of who God had called me to be. And while and in my mind, this was it. And then not only what did I think that she was who, she had a big old Bible. She was in church 3, 4 days, 3, 4 nights a week. So I thought she was in church, all right. She was shouting. Well, she was shouting. Yeah. But you know what God did? Because there was so much confusion. Because I said, "Man, I thought this was my wife. Like I thought, Lord, what is? Why didn't I see it? Why didn't I pick it up? Why didn't I know it?" I hope they ain't miss it, Titus. I hope they ain't miss it. Why didn't I know it? What happened? And you know what God did while I was on that fast? He showed me the person that I couldn't see. And y'all, where I had saw godly, he revealed to me a form of godliness. Where I had saw spiritual, while I was on that fast, God just like renewed my mind and helped me see all of the stuff that I didn't see. Revealed to me all of the stuff that I wasn't picking up on. And he didn't show me what to do with that person. He showed me what he wanted to do with and in me. Y'all with me? Yes, Miss Gigi. And when he revealed it to me and I looked back on it, I went from heartbroken to thank you, Lord. And then what I did was I chilled out. The Lord just chill out. You serving me, just keep serving. It, you're looking for a wife, stop looking for her and start chasing after me. Stop looking for what you want and seek what I want for you. Let me do in you what I need to do in you. Because until I do in you what I need to do in you, Nathan, then you are not even right for the person that I have for you. Until I do in you what I need to do in you, you are not the person that your person is looking for. Until you allow me, Nathan, to do what I need to do in you, you 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 are not even prepared. See, God gives us a vision, and I'm gonna leave you alone. But let me just say this: God gives us this vision in any area of our life. God gives you a vision, and I know I'm kind of all over the place today, but I hope y'all picking up what I'm putting down, and I hope this is helping you, especially those of you who are dealing with this kind of stuff. See what happens? God gives us a vision in any area of our life, and we want to run straight to it. He and most of the time, the way you know that God is giving you a vision is because it's a burden that you can't shake, a problem that your heart desires to solve, a situation that you want to provide a remedy for, and you can't shake it, you can't get away from it, whether it's for you or whether it's for somebody else, whatever. But what happens is God gives us that vision, let's say like a vision for marriage for us. I want to give God glory through a marriage, and we want to run straight to it. And what I learned in that season is there's the vision and there's the fulfilling of the vision, but in between the vision and the fulfilling of the vision, there's this season that we oftentimes skip called preparation. And the preparation, the reason why we skip it is because the preparation is the difficult part. It's the part that requires sacrifice. It's the part that requires shedding, the shedding of the parts of us that won't fit in the vision. Whew. The pruning of the parts of us that are not good for where God has us going. Come on. And we oftentimes want to skip that part. And that's what I was trying to do. I was like, man, I need a wife. I want a wife. Lord, give me a wife. And here's what I feel like she needs. And God had to show me, you don't even know, you don't even know the details of where I'm taking. I gave you the vision. How about you just chill out and let me also give you what you need to fulfill it? Instead of you taking the vision that I gave you and trying to put what you think you need in it. Don't you think that if I'm the one who gave you the vision, I know what you need to fulfill it? First of all, what you need is you need to let me do in you, in your heart and in your mind, what I need to do to prepare you for where I'm taking you. Nathan, because you got some stuff in you that the spouse that I have for you, and it's so funny because and she don't even realize it now, man. But now people tell Joyce about the person that I was before we got together, and she believes it now. We've been together 21 years, but like they'll be telling her like how I was and who I was and so on and so forth. And first of all, she's surprised because she don't know that Nathan. She's never experienced that. And at first, she didn't even believe it. She thought they were telling tales on me. But I was like, nah, they telling the truth. It's true. That's why I tell her all the time I put a spell on you. But then she always says this to me. She always says to me, if I had met you when you were like that, we would have never worked out. If I had met you when you were that way, I would have we wouldn't have made it to a second date. I would have been so not interested in you. What happened? I allowed God, and not to perfection. I don't want it to seem like I'm perfect. I'm not. I'm flawed. Y'all know that. I'm thrown off. God ain't through with me yet. Y'all know that. But what I did do in that season is I allowed God to do in me, to the best of my ability, what He wanted to do to prepare me for the wife that He had for me. Clean out all the junk. get my mind right, deal with all the stuff, draw boundaries with the people from my past who, to some degree, I didn't have a choice as to whether or not they were in my future. Allow enough time, come on, for me to figure this new me out. Are y'all with me? Allow him to create in me a clean heart. Because what right do I have to ask God for a person with a clean heart when my heart's dirty? Mm. I, I got a heart full of junk, and I'm asking God for a woman with a heart of virtue. And what I didn't realize, and let me help you, what some of us don't realize is the reason why you keep falling for the same trap is because you can only see life through the lens in which you live it. You you draw the people that you draw because of the bait that you're using. You see the people you see because of the lenses you're looking through. My wife had to be this and she had to be that. And she had Joyce is probably none of what I said my wife had to be. I had a particular type. I had a particular physique that I was drawn to. I had a particular, she had to be in church and she had to know the Lord and she had to be discipled and she had to be this. And Joyce ain't none of that. But watch this. You ready for that? She's perfect for me. But I had to allow God to change my lenses, to reshape my mind, to clean out my heart, not just from sin, but from my past. Are y'all with me? And until I went through that season of preparation, I was not ready for the amazing wife that God had for me. Come on. God knew I had to have somebody who was willing to put up with my level of crazy. It takes a special woman. Come on, somebody. When I met Joyce, I led her to Christ. She wasn't. She was an amazing person already, but I ended up leading her to Christ. Never could have told me I was going to lead my wife to Christ. In my mind, my wife going to be a long dress wearing, Bible toting, in church 50 days a week. Come on. That's who she's going to be. God said, nope, it's not what you need. I'll give you what you need. First, you got to give me what I want. He gave me exactly what I needed. I didn't need none of that. I needed exactly who he gave me. You got to seek God, man. You got to seek the Lord. Slow down. Get quiet. Yeah, they need the hats too, Titus. You're right. She had to have the hats, man. And her hat had to be big enough to where if you're sitting behind her, she'll block the spirit. You can't see nothing on the stage. Oh. Come on, y'all know what I'm talking about. Huh? You like this the whole service. Yeah. It's pretty, but you're blocking the spirit. I hear him, but I can't see him. I think it's time to go. Hit that share button, man. Follow me on Instagram. Thank you, moderator. Text give to 985-260-8411. Support the Jumpstart movement. You want to sow into my life, you can do that there as well through the love offering. Y'all know them hats be big, man. Come on, somebody. Them big old church. They be pretty. Oh, they be pretty, man. They be pretty. Come on. But they be big, man. Huh? Come on. They be big. I saw one lady had on the church hat and she had a family Bible on it. On the front. You know your church has big when it's big enough to put one of them picture Bibles. One of them kind that used to be on your grandma's table. I love y'all, man. Y'all have an amazing day. God bless y'all. Hit that share button for me. Follow me on Instagram, man. Lord's will. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning on Jumpstart Live. She got a choir stand across the back of her head. With people singing.